Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 7025 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Yeah. Jones, hey. Greg Deville was at it, man, hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in, we here to help. Now tune in, we here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in, we here to help. Now tune in, we here to help.
All right. Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Greg Deville back in the studio once again. That's right. We're having fun helping families. The Wealth Mindset Conference Las Vegas, baby, is going down. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some great entertainment. And then we're going to have some great education pieces. Listen, did you know the difference between a living trust and a will? There is a difference between a living trust and the will. You want to know the difference? Come on out April 7th, 10 a.m. at the Red Rock Resort and learn what the difference is and why a will is not meant to be had when you have a living trust. Why a will is not even necessary when you have the living trust, right? So we want to talk about helping you understand education pieces. So want to make sure that we're doing what we can to help you all get involved in the wealth mindset. We are at 702-349-0162, 702-349-0162. Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, live on the radio, 702.5fm.com is how you reach us. We want to talk about the wealth mindset. We have a host of speakers, I like to say a plethora, that we talk great information and impart wisdom to help you understand what's valuable with the wealth mindset. We're going to have our friend, our brother-in-law, Shondale Newsom. He's going to talk about the mindset of success. You know, we understand, those of us that grew up in church, we used to hear the pastor say, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so when you have a mindset of success, you think on those things that bring, say it with me, success. And so we want to capture some more creative ways to mature our thoughts into a wealth mindset. So Shondell will be talking about the mindset of success. and how many of us as entrepreneurs, we go to bed thinking of new innovative ways to create wealth. Many of us that are entrepreneurs, we wake up with new innovative ways, right? We're pondering new ideas that would help us build our business. In many cases, take them to the next dimension, not just the next level, but the next dimension. We're going to have Dr. Sonia Sheltonham, who's going to be talking about, and she's a leadership coach here in the city of Las Vegas. Phenomenal speaker, phenomenal woman to address great issues, counselor, just a leadership coach altogether. She'll be talking about walking in your purpose. Somebody says, what is my purpose? I get up, I go to work, I feed the kids, I come home, I get up again and go to work and feed the kids and come home. Or come home and feed the kids. So that's a routine. Saturday morning, you get up, clean the house and do the laundry, right? Sunday, you go to church, and then you get up Monday and you start all over again for another week. But what is my purpose? And how do I walk in that? And so she's great at expounding on information to really help you to think beyond the norm, outside of the box. We have our friend Quentin Savoy. Now, Quentin is the president of the NAACP. He'll be talking about creating impactful change. Sometimes, you have to just change your mind about the way you look at things. Impactful change. What does that look like? Many times I meet people and they just have stinking thinking, right? They just stuck on the old mindset. This is how I've always done it. This is how my mom and them did it. And this is how it's done. But when we talk about an impactful change, what are we doing different? Are we still getting up on Saturdays to go shopping at the mall to give the mall our paycheck or any leftover money past the bill? Or are we looking at a new concept, how we can save money and stack our chips so that we can down the road invest? Or are we getting out of rental homes where we're paying off other people's mortgages and letting them create the wealth? Or is there a change in your mind? We're in a new year. The number 8 is a year of new beginning. So we want to talk about impactful change. The mindset of success, walking in your purpose. To know what those things look like, you need to be at the conference, April 7th, at the Red Rock Resort. Tickets are only $108. We want you to bring a guest. Don't come alone, because this information is going to be so impactful that you're going to want to share it with a friend. And if you can't attend, invite a friend. Purchase the ticket for someone that you can be a blessing to. Okay? We have Cameron Miller, the president of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. He's going to be talking on a wealth mindset. What the conference is really all about, a wealth mindset. How do we go from where we're at now to this wealth mindset? I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, Deville. But while you're at work, I want you to begin to develop ideas how you can create a business. How you can start that business that you've envisioned in yourself over the course of the last 4, 5, 6 years. You've been thinking, you got a great gift. Now, starting a business can be challenging. It can be stressful. It can keep you up at night. But as you go through the process and as time goes by, guess what? It gets a little bit easier to trust that it's going to be all right. Because I just mentioned earlier, coming up with new innovative ways, new innovative ideas to create new inventions, how to rebrand yourself, how to restructure things in your business. Those are some of the things we're talking about at the Wealth Mindset Conference, Las Vegas. We've got a good friend, wonderful person. You've got to come to know her, right? Miss Trina Giles. Now, we understand Miss Giles was a former inspector of the fire department, right? First female inspector of the fire department. Now, Trina has worked many years in that position, has led that office. Now, Trina has opened up an established business. Spent some years, many of you patronize. She's the owner of Grits Cafe, the world renowned. People come from afar. I was there yesterday, and people come in from out of state. She's made the list of one of the top places to visit while you're in Las Vegas when you talk about breakfast. Now, understand, she's closed on Tuesdays. So if you get ready to go out there, she's closed on Tuesdays. We were there. My wife and I were going to lunch, and we said, oh, no. Now, Trina, and the special person that she is, she'll be talking about the art of the pivot into entrepreneurship. The art of the pivot into entrepreneurship. Now, she had to pivot from a 9 to 5, probably a 13, 14-hour day, which we like to call a 9 to 5. But I know if she was running a department, she wasn't just a 9 to 5. It's pretty difficult to do with the demand of that industry, right? But now when you talk about the art of the pivot, to pivot from a place of business that you're running into your own, that can be very challenging. So I want to make sure that we're helping get information at the conference that will empower you and encourage you and enlighten you to be greater in your mindset, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. We want to get involved in your life in helping you transition in your mindset to a greater height. This conference is a one-day conference. We've been planning it for the last 6-7 months, and we're coming down the wire. We're 30 days. We're coming down the wire. But you've been procrastinating on getting your ticket and purchasing your seat. So keep in mind, if you're come closer. Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Little engineer technology assistance there. We are having a little problem. But anyway, we got to resolve. But here's what I want you to do. Keep in mind that while you're thinking about this conference, the dates are 30 days out. You want to get involved. You want to be a part. Now, if you just can't make it, as far as budgeting is concerned, we do have sponsors who are willing to sponsor. So I want to hear from you. 702-349-0162. I don't want anyone to have a reason other than the fact you're on a flight and you have a flight already booked and you're going to be out of town. But if you're here, it's on a Sunday afternoon. We're going to have an 8 a.m. worship service there at the conference, so you won't miss service for those of you who feel obligated or traditionally you have to be at church on Sunday morning. There will be an 8 a.m. service, 8 to 9 a.m., and then we're going to have at 10 a.m., we're going to go right into the conference. So now don't let any reason other than you're not in town or some other reason hold you unless it's something very, very serious. Now, just you can't afford it or, let's contact me, because we do have sponsors who are willing to sponsor so that you can get there and get this great information to impart and impact your life with change. So again, now we've spoken to those who are going to be speaking on the platform. Now, listen, we have a great gentleman who's a powerful brother in the community. He goes by the name of Chef Jeff Henderson. Now, Chef Jeff, we know him with the Chef Jeff Project. Now, I spoke to Brother Chef Jeff back in December about attending and being a part of and being our keynote speaker. And he was excited about it. He said, man, I'd love to do it and share the platform with so many great individuals. And so he agreed back in December, early January, to take part in the conference to be our keynote speaker. And then the end of January comes, the Vice President, Kamala Harris of the United States, came to Nevada, came to Las Vegas, and played and went by his place of business because they heard about the project that he's doing. He's a chef, and he has a mobile culinary school. And the brother has a great testimony. He's going to be talking on the fact of overcoming challenges and creating success. Brother did nearly 15 years in prison, overcoming challenges, but creating success. We want to motivate you that doesn't matter what life looks like right now, there's a successful end down the road, but it's how you make that path. What do you do different that you didn't do last year that this year will be different, impactful in the lives of your family and others? I understand my purpose was helping families create wealth. We've been successful at that. Helping families to understand when you pay rent, you're paying a mortgage already. So if you're going to pay it for someone else, why not get it for yourself? It's like leasing a car. You'll never own it. You'll get to use it as long as you pay every month, right? Now, don't pay that car lease and watch what happens. You'll hear a beep early in the morning. It's a tow truck. And you hear these chains come out, and they'll snatch it up. Yes, they will. And that's the same thing when you pay rent. Watch this. When you pay rent, many times you have until the 3rd or the 5th to pay your rent. After which time, by law, they're required to serve you a notice. Pay or quit notice, 3-day notice, 5-day notice, depending on if you're in the city, the county, or in North Las Vegas, right? Or Henderson. Every law is different, right, for their jurisdiction. So you get served. After the 5th, more than likely, you're going to get a pay or quit notice. Now, with the mortgage, your mortgage isn't late until after the 15th. But technically, you could pay it up. As long as you pay it before the 30th, you won't get a 30-day late, which means your credit continues to revolve, showing a good payment history. So with that type of information, that's why owning is so important. It's imperative that you own property. So running across families who are paying rent, that's why the Wealth Mindset Conference, we want to instill empowered information within your mind to help you understand there's greater than what I'm doing. And if money is the issue, as far as it comes to closing costs and down payment, we have a resolution for that. There's grant money allocated to assist families into getting into home ownership. So if we can help, let us do that. Now, if credit is your issue and you know, it's amazing. People say, well, I don't know my credit. Have you been paying your bills or not, right? You know how many late you got, how many phone calls you got ringing in saying that we missed your payment, right? So you kind of have an idea. I pay all my bills, everything's paid, then you should be looking pretty good. Then guess what? I just got an approval letter for a gentleman. He heard the radio talk show, just got approved today. As I'm sitting here in the studio, opened up an email. Guess what happens? Now we're ready to go home shopping. We'll hit the ground tomorrow. We'll go home shopping. We'll find him a property. Guess what? I'll negotiate the offer. And Monday, I expect we'll go in escrow. And close it. Watch this. And close the deal within 30 days. Now, does it always work this way? Now, sometimes we have delays that maybe we may go into 35 or 40 days. Very rare. Because when you're working with a lender, you bring your document, whatever they request of you, do it expeditiously to get that document in. Remember, the underwriter is requiring certain conditions when it comes to getting that loan done. And when you drag getting it done, you can go, there are dates and timelines in a contract. So when you put up your earnest money deposit, guess what happens? Your earnest money goes into jeopardy when you miss those timelines. Very important that you stay within the guidelines and the timelines that those contracts do have, that you've also agreed and signed. So again, don't let credit be an issue. Do away with excuses. Call Greg Deville. We can help you fix whatever the problem. If you've had a foreclosure and it's been longer than 4 years, call me. Let's talk about it. Because many of you are able to get back into home ownership after 4 years of of foreclosure. Now, bankruptcy, 2 years after discharge, you can again get into home ownership. You may have to get a release from the courts, giving permission that you can purchase a home again. But guess what? 2 years after discharge, I've helped families get into homes. If you're going through a bankruptcy and you say you want to sell the house, now, I see people selling their house during the bankruptcy because the payment gets put into this balloon payment, and sometimes it could be rather expensive. It depends on where your mortgage payment is. But talk to the bankruptcy courts or attorney before making that decision. Sometimes you have equity in your home, right? Can you imagine having equity in your home and then you bankrupt when all you had to do was sell the house and you could have paid everything off? I mean, it's a no-brainer. But sometimes people just didn't know. We recently got a lady $146,000. She was losing the home, but bankruptcy wouldn't have solved it. Guess what? She could have bankrupt, but what does that do? Tie the house up. And now that $146,000, guess what? It's tied up. Now, we're able to sell the home, get you the check of $146,000. Guess what? Whatever debts you're behind, you could pay those up. Within a year, your credit's back up to above a 600, 620, we could sell you another home. So you'll have to rent for 1 year and then pay off those things with that equity. Because many homes, 96% of homes today have equity in them. And with the equity in your home, you can sell the home, save the equity, and guess what? People walk away 60, 80, 150. I gave one family $430,000. They both walked away with $215 because they were going through a divorce, had to sell the house. They both walked away with a substantial amount of income and to go on with their lives. So if that's what you're facing, if you're dealing with delinquent mortgages, the only option, if you can't catch up, you don't have wherewithal to catch up that balance, and the longer you sit there, the longer it gets further behind, and the more the late fees accrued and more the junk fees accrue, guess what happens? Now you're in deeper than you can imagine. So now the bank is threatening to foreclose on your home. What do you do then? Call Greg Deville. Because what we'll do is we call it a pre-foreclosure sale. So I get a regular list of homes that are coming on the market that are going to be sold on the auction block. Many of you will be going into the April. Some of you be going into May. Your home is going to be sold. And once it's sold, you can't buy it back because it's sold for default of mortgage. And somebody said, well, they trying to take my house. Let me pause here for a moment and explain to you, the bank does not want your house. Because when you don't make the payment, that means they're not getting interest on their money. Remember, someone put money in the bank and they're giving them 2%, but they're selling that money to you at 6%. So they're giving 2 to the investor whose money it is in the bank, and they're making 4% off the money. So guess what banks want? They want the interest rate. They're not into real estate. They're into loaning money on real estate. So when you say this, the bank is trying to take my house, they won't work with me. Well, it's probably because you've had prior experiences with being in default. So there are people who can get the forbearance, who can be excused and get, a promissory note, a modification. But then there are some who the bank says, no, we want to go ahead and sell the property. So you can have an option to try to sell it before the sale date and do a pre-foreclosure sale, or the bank may opt to sell it themselves. And let's say you have $100,000 in equity in the house. Well, they say they're supposed to give it back to you, but why wait on the bank to get ready to back to you when they say? When you can call Greg Deville, guess what? The team Deville, we can get that house on the market, get it sold before the sale date, get you that money wired into your account. Let's say you have $100,000. The day the house is sold, the next day you have wired into your account 100, 200, whatever your equity is. It may just be 50,000. But if you lose it, that 50 is still there. It's just being tied up now. Guess what? It's tied up in what? It's tied up in the escrow account to whenever they decide they're going to release the funds. I don't know how long it takes. Somebody told me, I haven't heard anyone getting the money back, but I heard somebody tell me that, they get it back. I don't know how long it took. But if I can tell you I can sell your home in 30 days, get you 60, 80, 150,000, why wait on that? Well, listen, you're going to have to move anyway, right? Procrastination, so many times we get so used to doing it, it's a part of our lifestyle. But let me tell you, you don't have to do that in 2024. If you know you can't catch up on those payments, you're too delinquent in the arrears. And let me say this also, those of you that have an HOA and you're behind in your payments, pay those HOAs because they can foreclose too. So if you get delinquent on HOAs, their junk fees are ridiculous and they're governed by their own set of laws. So you can't go file it. No, before you purchase that home, you signed a waiver and agreement to abide by the rules of the HOA. So they can if you're behind, they can sell your home. Doesn't matter that there's a first mortgage. They'll sell it for their interest. And then the first mortgage has to go for it from there. But the HOA wants their monies. And so that's a law. And so if you're delinquent in the mortgage, please, sir, ma'am, sis, bruh, pay your HOA. Keep up on your HOA. Do not let that go delinquent, as you will have charges that is just unheard of. And nothing you could do about it. You will have to pay. There's no debt forgiveness in those charges. The HOA wants what they want. and then, God forbid, you didn't pay, and then they had an increase during the time of your lack of payments. And so now you're being charged for the new payment and the late fees and the junk fees and the assessment fees, then the attorney fees, because they give it to an attorney to sign off and to bring a lawsuit against you, right, to make it go to the auction. So there's a claim filed. It's a process. And so if you want to avoid the process, pay those HOAs. Even if you don't pay the mortgage, keep up on the HOAs. Now, if again, as I aforementioned, if you are delinquent in that mortgage, I need to help you. Now, listen, I've been doing real estate over 40 years. I'm here to help you. I'm here to walk you through the process. I have a team. Listen, I've duplicated myself in the team, so we know what to do to help you get out of what you're in. Now, every realtor says they can do it. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of young realtors out there who are new in the business and really, frankly, don't know what they're doing. So I'm here to tell you, I've been in the business a long time. Many of you know me. You've heard of Greg Deville. You've heard of Deville Realty. We have a proven track record of getting things done. So can I say this to you? Contact my team. Matter of fact, here was what I'll do. I'll give you my direct sale. I want to work with you personally. 702-349-0162. I'll personally take your call. Reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Let's go over what does that number look like, Deville, that I have in equity? Because I'm in delinquent. I'm in a delinquent state in my property, and they're sending me. And if you're getting those letters, I'm telling you now, you want to open those letters and read the mail. I know you don't want any more bad news. You don't want to look at it. But I'm telling you, if you're more than 4 months behind, really 90 days, you'll start you get letters in 30. But after the 90 day, those letters start getting real demanding. After 4 months, yeah, they're talking about a sale date. So you want to open that letter, especially if you know you're beyond 90 days. Start opening up that mail, because I'm telling you right now, there may be a sale date, and once that thing goes to auction, there is no turning back. And don't call Deville now, it's on auction, and you got, man, the only way we can postpone an auction is that we must have the property in escrow. And even with that, I've seen where they would not allow it. They would go to the auction block. But I've seen 98% of the time that I've been able to reach out through my strategy and get the property postponement of sale through the auction and give it the opportunity to go through escrow. But that's the difference between a novice and a veteran realtor. Now, I'm a broker, owner of a real estate company. So our job is to make sure we're educated in the laws and the trade of real estate. Now, let me speak to those of you that own a house and you have equity in your home, but you're not letting the equity work for you. There's a thing called residual income. How do you get involved in residual income? Well, I'm glad you asked. Taking the equity that's in your home, using that equity, watch this, to get to something greater. Let's say you got $300,000 and there's a fourplex for sale for $600,000. But you got $300,000 tangible that you can pull out of equity. Well, on the $600,000, put $300,000 on it. You're only going to finance $300,000. On a $300,000 right now, a payment might be $2,000 a month, but the property's generating, watch this, $3,800 to $4,500 a month. So your payment is $2,000, but it's generating an income. So now it's going to pay the mortgage, and it's going to give you an additional income called residual income. But how did you do it? Simply with the equity that's in your home. So these are ways that we call strategic planning to create residual income. Now, some of you have good credit, and you can go ahead and you can get a loan using somebody else's money, right? Now, a secured loan, right? Hard money loan, those type of things are available. Not for owner-occupant type properties, but if you get into an investment type property, right? There's a lot of different lending out there. It's called creative financing. But I want to give you a very secure thing that is very proven method, and that's using a home equity line of credit. Your home equity line of credit comes out of your equity. Did you not know that you can borrow up to 80% of your equity in your home? Well, when you do that, here's the great benefit is you can invest that money. So many people take money out of their homes, and guess what they do? They go buy a new Navigator or a new Cadillac Escalade, and you've just created a liability, right? Because now you buying something that depreciates in value versus taking that same money, as Robert Kiyosaki stated, taking that same money, putting it into an investment portfolio that creates a residual income, and now you can have whatever you want because you have a residual income that pays for it. No longer do you have to work and take the check money out of your check to pay for it. It's coming out of your portfolio. So you can drive what you want. Just don't buy it first. If you're paying rent, don't buy a car yet. Call Deville. Let's get you into a property. Then you can buy. In fact, I'm glad we're on the subject. I was just at a men's breakfast last week or so, and a brother came to me. He said, Deville, I heard you talk about not buying a car, but buy the house. He said, man, I bought the house. He said, man, everybody offered me to buy something on credit. Guess what? They offered him a new car. His credit, because you're able to buy a house, it shows that if the lender can trust you on a $500,000 home, they can trust you on a $30,000, $60,000, $80,000 car, right? So get the property first, and you can get credit cards to give whatever you want. They'll come out of the woodworks. But if you buy the car first, you can't get a house. Just FYI, you cannot purchase a home. So I don't know what you're going to do. I ask you not to purchase a car first, because it's going to set you back at least a year. And then even with that, you may have to refinance the car so that your credit, your debt to income ratio is down so that you qualify for more. Now, if you're married, husband and wives have to qualify together. Now, based on your debt to income ratio determines how much you qualify up to. So this is the education piece of my show, is to empower you with the knowledge and the understanding how to move in advance into home ownership, how to start creating generational wealth, right? Because generational means you pass it on to someone else, and it's generational. And you leave it in a trust that they pass it on to theirs. That we continue the cycle like Rockefeller, the Hughes, Howard Hughes corporations. So many families have passed, the Kennedys have passed on legacies. Their families are still living off the wealth of what grandpa, great-granddaddy started. Because it was in the Bible. A wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Too many times we bury people, they had no property, they had no life insurance. All they had was a bunch of shoes, clothes, and socks. Gucci down to the sock. Not worth anything. Do we continue that vicious cycle of just leaving stuff? We leaving cars and debt. No, let's change our mentality. That's why the wealth mindset is powerful. I was talking to a gentleman who wants to return to the conference this year because last year he learned so much information that he's walking in the information even today from last year's conference. He said, Deville, I didn't know. He said, I always had a will. I sold them a great big house. They got a beautiful home. They have great jobs. They have great income. Gorgeous house. But watch this. He said, I had a will, but coming to your conference, I learned the trust was more valuable. He said, since coming there, I since have established my living trust. You got revocable or irrevocable. There's different type. Come and learn so much information. We have a men's health section to come and learn about how to prevent diabetes, high blood pressure, and how to control, right? How to get off the medication for high blood pressure. What does that look like? My mama had it. My daddy had it. Doesn't mean I got to live in it. My mama and my daddy was an alcoholic. But today I'm 23 years sober. So I don't have to live in that generational curse. All my uncles died of alcoholism. My aunt. Guess what we did? My generation of cousins and myself, we don't drink. Because we understood it was a hereditary, man. We were all alcoholics. But guess what? So was a lot of families. All of them had high blood pressure. All of them had different ailments that just trickled down. And somewhere you got to learn how to break the curse. Because my family was overweight. Don't mean I got to be overweight. In fact, that's what was the cause of the high blood pressure, the diabetes, and so many other things, because we all like to eat. I realize that can be a problem, right? Because it's not always how much you eat, but what you're eating. This is not a health show, but I'm just stating facts, right? The end of the day, you don't have to go into being a tenant because you live with your mom and your dad, and they've always rented a house, and they've moved over your course of your years in school. You probably live in 6 or 7 homes. Well, today, break the curse for your children and give them a home they can grow up in. You could be old and still live in the same house. I've been living in the same house 8 years. Well, I grew up with a dad who we lived in a house 25 years. Right? So I see how that works. But sometimes I meet people I just gave keys probably a year ago to a family, and she had a tear in her eye. She said, Mr. Deville, she said, I'm the first in my family in 2 generations to own a house. In her family. Nobody's owned a home. Her grandmother, her mother, no one has owned a home. She broke the curse. She said, my children get to see we own this. And maybe, it wasn't the most elaborate home, but guess what? It's theirs. It came with a backyard. It was right in the 89106. But guess what? They were able to get their own. Many of you started there. Many of you live in great neighborhoods. You still got a ring on your door. Still got cameras all around the house. Ask me how I know. I live in a decent neighborhood. I got cameras all around the house. I can see what's going on right now. Right? I mean, because things happen even in decent neighborhoods. So we can't shoot down a neighborhood. Stay where you can afford until you can afford to do better. And then when you do, get enough equity in that home, what are we going to do? We're going to move over to the next home. So again, the Wealth Mindset Conference is valuable. You want to be there. If you can't afford $108, call me. I want to help you get a ticket. I've got sponsors. If you've got the funds that you can be a sponsor, that you can sponsor some. Here's what I wanted to do, and I still want to do this. There's a barber college and a beauty college and a couple of different schools of cosmetology. The barber college, some of these students coming out of college. Let's sponsor students that will come, especially our barbers and nail techs, those kind of people that want to be entrepreneurs. Sponsor someone that has a dream of entrepreneurship, like barbers and nail techs. And if you know someone in your family, sponsor them to the event. Because remember this, when you're going into the barber field, the entrepreneur field, you're going to need to be encouraged. Because if you don't go get the business, it may not come to your door. And so it's different than a person going to college to be a doctor, right? They just show up at the hospital and patients come to them. But when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to go out and get your business. And so for you to go get the business, you need the wherewithal how to do that. What does that look like? You need to see entrepreneurs. Let them come to the conference. Every one of our platforms are entrepreneurs. And so these entrepreneurs are going to speak to the entrepreneur in you, in them. Invite them to come. If money is the issue, don't let money. Oh, Deville, I would come, man, but things are a little tight. Listen, it's enough people out there that can sponsor a table. Those of you, a table is $1,000. That seats 10 people. You'll waste $1,000 going to the mall buying new clothes. When you got clothes, you could take to the cleaners. There's sacrifice we made to give our little brothers and our little sisters a chance to see. Now, I want them to be 18 years or older, right? I want to pour into them at 18 years or older. And they're going into, they want to go to, like I said, they're in barber school. They're trying to do something that's creating an entrepreneurship. Expose them to this wealth mindset, because you got to learn how to go get it. You need to hear from people who, the old term was hustling in the street. They need to hear from people who are hustling in the profession. And that's what the wealth mindset does. It encourages that man, that woman in you to go to another level. Because some of you hate your jobs. You really want to do your own thing. You're just scared. But come out and learn from people who took that leap of faith and casted out fear and moved forward by faith, and look at them today. I moved to Vegas 23 years ago. Didn't know anybody. Now my name is one of the biggest black real estate companies in town. But I moved here 23 years and not knowing no one. But look at God. Look at what time has evolved. Look at what has come to pass. So what are you going to do? Do what I've done. Step out on faith. Be a blessing to somebody. Understand, they can go higher. They might, listen, I would wish my children would pass me up. Or just take on what I've built and keep it going when I'm gone. That's what the Rockefellers have done. That's what the Hughes family have done. That's what so many other families have done, right? There's a real estate company, Coldwell Banker. I was talking to someone in North Carolina. Coldwell Banker, they're selling their house. And I said, two guys started a company, and it's nationwide. You can only imagine Deville Realty nationwide. Well, you got to imagine it, though. You have to see yourself with it to get it. So invite somebody to come to the Wealth Mindset Conference. Tickets are $180. We get a table for $1,000. That's 10 people. If you're a vendor, you can have a vendor booth. Come and tell us about your black-owned business. Come out, promote your business. Invest $400. Because we're talking about having a great size of individuals there, a crowd that will help bring your business the attention it needs. 702-349-0162. Greg Deville, the Deville Realty Group, the name you need to know right here in the Valley. This is what we do. We're having fun helping families. We want to continue to help you go and grow. Can we do that? Whatever business you want to start, you can do it. You just got to put your faith into it. And surround yourself with people that are doing greater than you. Surround yourself with people that are doing the type of thing you want to do, entrepreneurship. Get involved. Get in that circle. Get off your seat or do nothing and do something. Make a change. And again, those of you that can afford to help someone, get to this conference. It's on a Sunday afternoon. Listen, it's on a Sunday afternoon. So I made it so everyone should be available. My barbers, my nail techs, my students in school. If you know a student in college, $180, invite them to come. Don't just come alone. Listen, this is our second annual, and I'm still getting testimonials about the first. I'm hearing stories how blessed people were to be there. And this year we're going higher. This year we're going deeper. This year it's going to be greater. I'm putting that in the atmosphere. But we need your support to be able to make it happen. Each one, reach one, teach one. But we got to come together to make it happen, right? So teamwork makes the conference work. Teamwork makes the conference work. So together, I need your support. We need your, listen, I've only got 7 days. We've got to pay funds to continue to hold, these hotels, they require payment before the conference. You can't just the day of, you gotta reserve seating. We have blocked out 10 rooms. They said, if you need more, you can get 20 rooms. But I said, we just need 10 for now. But if you want to stay the weekend at Red Rock Resort, stay the weekend. We have block room rates, very good rates too. If you ever go to the Red Rock on a Saturday night, you upward of almost $500. We're getting those rates half off. So those are the kind of things we're working with. So we want to make sure that we can help you get involved in the Wealth Mindset Conference. Reach out to me. Go to the wealthmindsetconference.com, or you can hit me directly at 702-349-0162. I'm Greg Deville. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. And I want to thank you for sharing this information with someone else to empower them for a wealth mindset. It's going down April 7th. Tickets are only $108. I want to see you there. Bring someone with you, and let's share in information. And let's leave empowered and impactful. I got to get out of here. The engineer told me, looked upside my head and said, you got to go. There's somebody waiting in line. All right? We talk to you real soon. Until we talk to you then, may God's best be yours. Take care.
Jones. Hey, Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You want to be a broker? You want to be broke? You want to wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams, and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville, help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help.